I remember a long time ago when I went through the Czech practitioner training back in 1998 until 2007 when I did my level 4. We used to do a lot of measurements with the inclinometers and the Czech calipers for spinal curvatures and for pelvic rotation, pelvic tilts. One of the things to this day I don't think they've answered pretty clearly, at least not for me. Back in the day, we'd get I'd find measurements, not just me, a lot of other people too, where the lumbar spine would measure out somewhat flat. There would be a decreased lordosis. But then you measure the pelvic rotation, and both sides, left and right, it would be towards anterior rotation. So usually anterior rotation and a flexed or flat lumbar spine don't go together. So didn't know any answers back then, just kind of treated it in the way they treated it, or prescribed exercises was to get more of a lordosis back. A lot of prone cobras, extension type of work. What I find nowadays, now that I'm older and wiser, is it's common. You see cases where the rectus abdominis is very dominant compared to the other abdominal muscles such as the obliques. So the rectus abdominis, with its 1 to 2 inch real estate on the bottom of the sternum, top and middle rib cage, would pull the rib cage down from there, and that would create a little bit of flexion from that corresponding aspect of the lumbar spine. And when you get the measurements, it seemed like it would be less than 30 degrees or whatever the normal is nowadays. So, and then that's the rectus abdominis from the top. From the bottom, it wasn't pulling the pelvis up into posterior rotation, so the pelvis would still be driven into anterior pelvic rotation. So what does this all mean? Well, I'm going to turn you to my Mr. Bones, or my skeleton over here. Rectus abdominis up here is pulling down. It's pulling the rib cage forward here a little bit, creating a little bit of a flattening of the lumbar lordosis here. But at the same time, the pelvis is rotated forward this way because there's an extension load or extension stress, so to speak, that's forcing that. And the rectus abdominis actually is a compensation of that extension or extensor stress or strategy, so to speak, in the trunk in general. So the idea would be to teach them how to use their abdominal obliques more effectively, because they have more real estate on the pelvis and the rib cage compared to the rectus abdominis. So, and to get those abdominal obliques to work in an alternating fashion. So a great exercise would be a crab walk. Get on your hands and feet, belly up, tuck that pelvis in, and start walking. And then what you'll find are the abdominal obliques working, alternating with each other. And it's a nice way to counter the extension load or stress that a person tends to get into, which locks up their spine and pelvis and rib cage. So that's all I got. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you.